Yes, welcome, Mel from Bristol in England. Please, would you say where you are in the world in the chat? It would really help us, and it's nice to know. So, hello from Spain, Bristol. We have Sam from Bristol and Melanie and Sarah Hitching in Herts, Wales, I believe. Yes? No? Cornwall? No. From Stroud, traveling from Madrid to Dusseldorf, Simon, and close to Paris at the moment. Hello, Simon. Thank you for being here. Oh, and Sarah's visiting England. Sorry, Sarah, I thought you were at home. It's true, you are with your grandchildren. Yes. So we have Spain, England, we have Germany, France. Amazing. It's so beautiful. So welcome everyone. I'm in Spain, in Alicante, and today the alert, the yellow alert we had the other day for the wind, it's orange. So it goes really with the times we are in. Last week, I was very happy with the information that I shared, and thank you to everyone that has been commenting on that. But there was so many things that I wanted to share, and there wasn't the time. So we are gonna go for a little bit of that today. So the spirits of the time really ask us, make us question if we are in times where there is crisis or there is opportunity. And I 100% believe it's a time of opportunity. But, and I will try to unpack this for you. Why do I, apart from my own feeling, but what are my impressions, the research into different aspects of astrology, shamanic traditions, geopolitics, and I'll try to do it the best I can. So if you look at astrology, it's like a calendar. Like in December, some people decide to organize themselves for Christmas, or right now, other people are preparing themselves for Ramadan. Astrology gives us a bigger framework of where we are going. So we've been raving a lot, astrologers, about these big planets, Neptune and Saturn, going into Aries. Aries, when we talk about astrology, is very good if we think in terms of circles, spirals, cycles that repeat themselves, okay? Don't think in a linear way, even if that's the way we've been taught. Think always in spirals and circles. So Neptune was in the same place that arrived last Monday and made a little visit on the 30th of March last year, and is gonna now stay for good and start a new round of this big 165-year cycle. I mentioned that the other day. When was last time? 1861. What was happening at that time? Because we look at the fractals, yes? What was happening was that there was, for me, a very big thing is the civil war in the United States for the abolishment of the slaves, of slavery. So we visit that place again. And the theme of slavery. Yes, that Plato spoke about in some ways in the cave. Freedom, slavery, yes. and that now everyone, in one way or the other, is experiencing this calling for being free. And freedom is a very hot word. And this class or this webinar is not about freedom, but it is about connecting with the sky and seeing what's the calendar telling us. And the calendar tells us, okay, I'm visiting Neptune, the Lord of the oceans, the sign of Aries, the creator point, because everything starts in Aries right now. So there's a new opportunity. Saturn on the 14th of February, that we are going to be seeing each other in a retreat in England. It's also starting in that same point. They'll be together because Neptune moves so slowly that they will conjunct. They will be coming together at some point. So what does that mean? Neptune, Lord of the oceans, Lord of Pisces, where it's just living. How long is it in Pisces? 14 years. When was that? 2012. And everyone was dreaming of a redemption, no? Dreaming that it was the end of the world, that a new world was beginning, that some people were collecting cans. I had some friends that were even preparing refugees for this new era to come. And boom, apparently nothing happened. Now people are hoping for some also like a blackout, a meteorite that maybe will hit the earth, and so many other things, looking for the Messiah, for a redemption, or something will happen. And Neptune in Aries tell us, no, this is about you. So there's a delusion that we had that there was something or someone going to come and change this. And suddenly, Neptune, the Lord of the oceans, in the oceans everything is dark, yes? In fact, we humans have only explored 5% of the oceans, like 5% of the psyche, because Neptune is the Lord of the psyche. So the idea here is to think, okay, so what do I need to be here? And it's what we, in our school, we speak over and over. Be accountable. What is it that my psyche, in my psyche, that I have to let go of? What was my dream, my fantasy that I'm facing today? Yes, 1st of February, St. Bridget's Day, the day of the light, candle mass, also very special. A day of light in the middle of the darkness. Where am I entering into? Where am I going individually? As humans, collectively, is another thing. But individually, where am I going? Because if I'm going, okay, I'm going to buy a house, or I am getting married, or I'm getting divorced, or I'm having a baby, or I'm starting this new business, or I'm finishing this business. But then when that happens, what happened after? Then I need something else, and I need something else. So even if those cycles and micro projects or projects are important, the big vision, 14 years, that Neptune is going to stay in Aries, and it's going to tell us, well, show up. Really show up. Because coming from Pisces, Saturn, the Lord of structure, is tired. Tired of these never-ending dreams, tired of idealism in spirituality, in politics, no? I'm from the right, and the dreams of the more conservative of the right, the dreams of the left, the delusions of the right, the delusions of the left. of the above, of the below, the delusions. And yes, we are waking up to those delusions. Now, when Neptune and Saturn enter on the fire horse, because it's all fire. Aries is fire, the fire horse comes with fire, a lot of fire. When they enter this 17th of February, the lunar year with the fire horse, many people are so used to looking at the past, sorting out the past, and the past has its value, but right now, if you haven't done the work of looking at the past and entering the past, now the focus is the future. It's not that you have to choose, but now is the caterpillar has created the chrysalis, and from being a predator, only eating leaves and leaves and leaves and leaves and more leaves, you see caterpillars and they are kind of insatiable in predating as much leaves as they can, and then they construct the chrysalis. They basically make themselves caterpillar juice, they eat themselves up, and off they go as a butterfly, where from predators they become pollinators, like the bees. And from flower to flower they pollinate. Humans, we are the same. We are coming from being predating each other, predating the resources, predating, to becoming butterflies and pollinating. So the butterfly doesn't look to the past and cry over being this or over being that or over being a caterpillar. She just becomes a butterfly. And this comes from Greek mythology. You see, the Greeks always thought that we are caterpillars while being alive, and then in death, after death, we become butterflies. Jung said there was the personality. So a column A, imagine, where we are personality, and a column B, where we are an ancient old man or woman who has wisdom, the soul, personality and soul. That's all about astrology. How my personality can meet my soul. How can I be both? No, my personality goes there and my soul goes there. How can I listen to this soul? How can this soul life be present in my life? When Neptune goes into Aries, this column B, this soul aspect of you, that might be very awakened or very asleep, is at the forefront and needs to be an active player. And should be an active player. Should you choose for that soul to be an active player? Because what you and I have is freedom, the freedom of choice. Even if we are a slave, even if we are in prison, even if we are trapped in a reality that we don't like, we have freedom of choice. And that is the mind. The mind, I point my head because the head represents mind, but the mind is the whole body. And Neptune in Aries, and right now, yes, a cycle is starting where we have to position ourselves in our lives. Yes, this is Saturn. Saturn, the Lord of Structure, is in Aries, and is asking us, no, position yourself. Oh no, I see how I feel tomorrow. I just, go with the flow. No. The people who are in that energy, they are not gonna be very happy these days. So, and it doesn't matter if that's your nature or that's what you've become, change the side of the record. Because the times there's a nice wave and you need to get on the wave. Or you go at the back of the wave and you have a tantrum and you get, rolled into the shore and then see what happens there. But if you're surfing and there's a nice wave, you take the wave. It's nice. And this year is a nice wave. But it's a game changer. Yes. What's the most important thing when you work with any board game? I'm a mother of a teenager, no? So I have to learn loads of board games these days. So you need to know the rules very well. Those people that really know the rules normally are more advanced than those that get lost, don't want to listen, don't want to spend time knowing the rules in a board game. Same with cards, same with anything in life, that it's a little bit of a game. This life is a game. It's a game. The Ifa, the Yoruba tradition from Nigeria, one of the most ancient traditions of the planet, that is like mathematics, it's like mathematics. It's not random, it's not even metaphorical. It's got a binary methodology where it's precise. There's precision. Like mathematics is precise. So they say that we come from the spirit realm and we come here, and this life is a market. This place is a market. Meaning a market, a place to exchange, to enjoy. In England, no, I learned the joy of markets, of farmers' market. No, it's always a place to enjoy, to see friends, to buy lovely things, to talk to strangers. It's fascinating. And here where I live, there's many English people and there are markets. There's a tradition of markets and I love market life, no? Yesterday was cancelled for the wind and I was very upset because I love my market money. And I can't wait to be in Stroud and see if with my friend Kirsty that I see, we go to the market because it's nice. She always gives me this gift of taking me to the market. So the point here, guys, is not think of life. I know when I first heard this, I was like, what? But then as life goes on, I find it more and more interesting. So this reality is a market. There are rules and we have maps so we don't get lost because it's big. It's got some dark alleys and it's got some fascinating places and it's got sometimes new stalls, sometimes stalls that you love, they disappear. Yes. I'm a lover also of Camden Town. Yes. Camden Town, one of the best markets ever in my life. Now it's very in London. Now it's very kind of IKEA and very proper, but in the old days, that was like, for me, like Disneyland. This is a reality. So moaning, thinking, dreaming, a better time will come, redemption, being a victim. No. You've had 14 years of that, align with people who think the same, going against the system, pro the system. Oof, that is gonna be that's why we are so exhausted. And so many people are still in that story. Astrology tells us, no sole, astrology, say, don't go there. Look, learn the rules and play your best game with your talents. Aries is the sign of birth, Aries is the sign of war. Aries is the sign of the hero. And the battlefield is different this time. We are not in the industrial era. We are in the information era. In the information era, words are different. I don't need to beat you in the head. I just can get my computer and and I just can really, really fuck up a country. I can really, go to an algorithm, go, and I can really create something crazy, amazing, or something really horrendous. This year is a year like this, okay? Because Pluto has entered Aquarius for some time. Mars, the ruler of Aries, is with Pluto. So everyone needs to find an enemy these days. Anyone needs to find this conflict. And it's true, we are in conflict. And it's true, there's chaos. And it's true, there's tiredness and exhaustion. So the spiritual practitioner, the person that looks at the maps, the person that is into progress, the pioneers of these times, look at the maps and say, okay, where am I going? What do I need to leave behind? Because if not, I'm going to be some Frankenstein caterpillar, half caterpillar, half butterfly that is going to be too heavy to pollinate and to light and to be light. You see? So am I going to be a Frankenstein? Interesting, no? There's the new movie from Del Toro. Or am I going to be really light and really pollinating and really in something, in a new song for me? Am I going to be just hoping and listening to how good this is all going to be, hoping and praying, or am I just going to act? Aries is a sign of action. Aries is a sign, I repeat myself, of fire. When there's fire, what do we need to do? Tend it. If there's a candle, I just cannot leave it. I've got a candle here. I've got so many things that could burn here if I just leave the candle and leave my house. I have to tend the candle. I have to put it out or leave it in a place where the house is not going to burn. If I depend on a fire to have warmth in my house, I just cannot leave 2 hours the fire. I need to tend the fire. By this fire energy of birth being activated, I need to tend the fire. Where's the first fire? The fire of my body. The fire of digestion. The fire. Is my head on fire? My head shouldn't be on fire. My head should be cool. My mind should be cool. The pelvis, this is Chinese medicine, the pelvis should be on fire. All these people having hip surgeries, having problems with the hips, what is happening? The fire is in the head. The fire should be in the pelvis. So it's a time to really, where is my fire? Fire is masculine. With the fire, I move forward. The masculine, I'm not talking here about gender or sex. I'm talking about the masculine energy. Yes, the yang energy is boom. That's the energy of the fire horse. So you might find out right now, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. What are you talking? It's what I said last week. Well, recover. Recovery time, stress time. And stop saying, oh, I'm so stressed. No. Maybe look, Is my stress good or bad? Do I have chronic stress? Do I have transgenerational stress? Then I have to attend that. But I cannot just close my eyes to a reality that is moving forward, to a life that is changing, to a new era that is before me in technology, in the way we are relating, in health, in finances, very important. Everything is changing. So it's about recovery, silence, practice, and then off we go. And I'm a woman, I'm a man of the world. In the world. In the world. In, not off. My apologies. In. I come in, I come out, I restore, but I am in the world. Being in the world is not being in social media. Being in the world is not connecting to just devouring information and getting constipated in the head because you cannot process anymore. And then there's no space for what is important. It's about a new way of organizing ourselves individually, in our families, in our communities, but individually first is having priorities. That's all Saturn. Saturn in Aries is not very happy because it comes very tired from Pisces and all this depths and all this dreaming. It doesn't like it, really. He likes a structure, where he is, where he is, where he's not, how do we make things. In Aries, people with Saturn in Aries bang their heads, really, on the walls a lot. As children, they hit themselves quite a bit. With Saturn in Aries, we need to really learn where is the door. I go through the door. I don't just bang myself against the walls. I just go through the doors. I learn to understand where is the door, and I go through the door. For that, I need to be awake. For that, I need to be grounded. For that, I need to know which door do I want. Are you with me? Press a 5. Yes, that is like, yeah, if you can. Yes. Nice. Thank you. Yes, Sam, Kirsty, I see you. Juliana, it's because I cannot see everyone. Yes. So thank you, because believe it or not, I'm interacting with you. I don't like the mirror effect of all of this, so I really like interacting with you. Aina. So here, the example of a Saturn in Aries is the car. Saturn is you, is the driver. The car is 120 kilometers an hour, and you see a curve. And you need to stop or you kill yourself. Yeah, you need to press the brake. So Saturn presses a brake, and it avoids that we kill ourselves when there's a break, to make. That's exactly where we are right now. So we will hit our heads, or decisions will be made where we think we are hitting our heads. Doors will open. We might be hitting our heads and we don't realize that there's a door. The car is going fast. I need to be very clear. So what is Saturn in all of this? Is a masculine energy as well, like Neptune, like Aries, like Pluto, like the horse, like fire. So, guys, it's the masculine energy. It's not that it's more important than the feminine or whatever. No, it's that there's a masculine year. From the Mayan calendar is a feminine year. Is this contradicting itself? No, no. That's why I said in one of the newsletters, no, careful with reading these things literally. And don't worry, because I can decode to the best of my abilities to you. It's about from my feminine, from allowing myself to rest, to recover, to be cyclic like the moon, to be that feminine energy, that moon energy, I go into the masculine. That's the ideal. Of course, it's not one and the other. It's not linear, but I need to, we have a very limited language. And maybe I'm limited myself, and that's the best way I can explain it. But the idea is, I checking, is my feminine energy in place? Oh my God, I'm in this masculine, ba, 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 ba. No, the masculine is not negative. That's the mind is negative, and having goals is negative, and the fire is negative. That's what you hear a lot in spiritual circles and stuff, and that's crazy. There's nothing, it's the masculine energy is gorgeous and beautiful and needed. And we cannot exist without that masculine energy. So careful with demonizing and being an echo of ideas that demonize the masculine. And as representative of this masculine in our human race, men. Careful with demonizing that frequency. Because by that, you are demonizing yourself, because 50% of that is you. Careful with demonizing your father. Careful with demonizing your male ancestors. Of course, the feminine as well. But this year is like understanding. We have the opportunity of understanding the beauty of the masculine. So it's a good year to, some of you are doing martial arts. Some of you are, shooting classes, really good. Yeah. To understand, not to shoot anything, but to understand speed, hate, not missing the target. Sagittarius is fire as well. It's a centaur. It's a bow and arrow. It's also the target. There's a fire horse, when it's good channeled, is going through a target. A horse that loses a target is super dangerous. Like I said last week, I've had friends who have had horse accidents. Helen, I remember my very good friend Helen, I met her in the recovery one of her kidneys because the horse got out of, her power, and she fell. So we need to understand that car in Aries is also strong. You have to be very centered to drive. It's not something, you can be distracted when you are driving. Should be focused in the drive. And there's more accidents for people being tired than for people being and sleepy than from people being on alcohol. Did you know that? Very interesting. So when we are in Aries, it's time to be good. It's a good opportunity. Now, if you are burnt out, then you need to recover. Many people, women in particular, and men from their 45 onwards, early 40s these days, and late 30s, they go in periandropause, perimenopause, and they blame their changes. What they don't understand, and this is something I know very well from speaking with experts and from my own testing of the fields of people is that the adrenals are burnt out. And when the adrenals are burnt out, it's very difficult to go through hormonal changes. So are people burnt out a lot? Yes. The other day I sent a newsletter that was called I'm Exhausted, and it was the newsletter that most people have opened. So people might have thought I was talking at me. There's a part of me that is tired, but it's a part of me that I've been working with for years now. And I've got a lot more energy than ever in my life, and I'm recovering from many things. Why? Because what I'm teaching you really works, really, but it's a mindset. It's not if I do this exercise or that one. Of course, exercises and everything helps. But if your mindset doesn't change, if you are in a slavery rat race, it's very complicated to heal the adrenals. It's very complicated to relax. And it's very complicated to enjoy stress. Because good stress is good for us. Cortisol is a friend. Cortisol becomes an enemy when in the night, instead of sleeping, I'm watching TV, or I'm scrolling in social media, or I'm worrying. Then the cortisol, it's in place in a time of the day where there should be other hormones, you see? So the whole idea is that the body is so wise, our bodies are so powerful that can do as we want. And if we want to recover, the body recovers because the body is designed to recover. The body is a miracle and it's designed to recover. So these times with this fire energy, what do I need? To sleep. So for example, I've sacrificed 1 hour at night that I love my nights, and I wake up 1 hour earlier and I do my things and everything, the things that I need to do. And for example, that's my Capricornian energy that finds new structures because the times are changing. I cannot go to bed at the same time as last year because I know there's a fire element that I need to respect. And in my case, I need the cortisol in the mornings, not in the nights. You choose. Yes? So it's what changes do we need to make in our lives to make our lives cortisol friendly, to make our lives, when I look at the future and you get a tune on, you say like, yes, nice. Because are we going to have problems in the future? Yes, we are going to have to. We are going to have them. What's the mindset that I face these problems? Is this year going to be of radical changes? Yes. Are those changes going to be all lovely? No, they are not. What's the idea? What do astrology say? Saturn is going to be in Aries for 3 years. For 3 years, we are going to be seeing changes that we don't like. Many of them. And many of them we will like. So do I want other forces to symbolize my life, my changes, my health, my finances, or do I configure a life where I symbolize all those things? When I get on the wave, when I'm just not moaning and putting fingers against people, against elites, against reptilians, against Anunnakis, against monsters of whatever. But I become sovereign, a word that has been, converted into a cliche, but that's the Leo energy, the lion energy, the sovereign of the jungle, the king and the queen. That's Saturn, Neptune in Aries. I'm not saying random things. It's all it's underpinned by the map of the oracles. So it's a year to be cautious and bold. Yes? Which seems that they are antagonistic. But cautiousness and boldness can be hand by hand. It's not being reckless. Yes, I love words. So it's very important because this is a time of misinformation. People don't tell you lies so much. That's what people believe. It's not about lying. It's about bad concepts. It's about gurus and teachers who use bad concepts, and people have narratives that are copied from YouTube's, from broadcasts, from social media. Now, they play with concepts that are really, really not precise. They are misconstructs of concepts. So in politics, they are using that a lot, no? So we need to be mindful. In magic, in astrology, in spirituality, but the one that you walk with, not the one that you go on top of a mountain, you're careful with your language. With your language here, your language here. I've said many times, in the Buddhist, in the Tantric Buddhist tradition that I learned from, you wear gold hoops. Gold hoops to be mindful of what comes through here and out of here. Yes? So language, what do you listen to? What do you say? And ultimately, what do you think? Yes, I know it's the whole body, but as the throne of the mind. So this year, with so much fire, careful. Careful what you say, because the opposite of Aries, you read astrology in opposites, okay? I always say. The opposite Aries is Libra. Libra, the scales. Libra, harmony. Libra, justice. So we are going to see a lot of things that is going to trigger things like I like it or I don't like it. Like, I don't know. I put the silly example the other day. They are going to create a form of a human being, and he or she can come to your house and clean your house and do everything. And some of us will be, oh, amazing, give it to me. And some other would say, oh, horrendous, these robots that they can listen and they are going to take everything will be in the cloud and can be a spy. And people will argue and people will get into fights and people will say that the robots are destroying us, and others will say, you who, I can watch, relax while the robot is cleaning my house. So it's one or the other. We will not know. That's not the point. Is that there's going to be so much arguments and so many, I was right, you were wrong, the people who were raving about the robot, then the robots, I don't know, you find the robot flirting with your... This year is like this. Are you with me? Yes, press 5, please. So I'm with you. Yeah, because I don't see you, all of them. Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yes. So here is the story. Here is the story. What do we do here? So for me, is becoming more neutral. Neutral is no, I don't care. Neutral is I observe, and of course you're gonna be triggered one way or the other, but you have to learn. It's like a poker game. Who are very good poker players? Those that look neutral. Is people who are very good business people. Who are those? The good ones, the ones that are neutral. The emotionality, that is a game changer, and that brings fire to your head. And And you can have a stroke in 2 minutes for what? For what? For this politician or the other or that thing? This life of yours? No. So there's a learning to be cool. Water, coolness. The fire, I use it in my pelvis and to move and to have healthy cortisol. My mind is cool. So I rest it. I give it nice food for the mind. I work very cool. I recover. And then I am on top of the wave, regardless of what happens, regardless of my problems. Health problems, financial problems, relationship problems. It's not about not having problems. This is also the issue with a lot of people who follow spirituality, astrology, and so on. They are working towards not having problems. No, work to have a mindset that can resolve problems. Work towards a mindset that has a cool mind. Working a mind of just going with the flow, of not being flaky. It's not a time for flakiness. Fire in the pelvis. Someone is asking what means fire in the pelvis. Literal, fire in the pelvis. Yes, is where do you move? If you learn how to climb with harness, you cannot climb a harness if you don't have fire in the pelvis, if you don't have pelvic thrust. Yeah, you need the pelvis to move. If you watch how you move, the movement doesn't start in the legs, it starts in the pelvis. And the fire needs to be in the pelvis. A nice fire, yes? Not a toxic fire. That's when people become sexual addicts. But when the pelvis has nice fire, then poof, you have that nice movement, nice forward movement. The head cools, sharp, like a sword. So if you are in a negotiation of anything, of buying a house, of getting divorced, of negotiating with your child, negotiating with your partner, what do we do this weekend, anything, and you have fire in the mind, see you and go and cool your mind. You see? If you are going to work, don't go with your, my job is to mentor and hold, so I cannot go with my head on fire. My mind needs to be cool. The mind needs to be cool. That is, you want an insurance, a health insurance, have your mind cool. You don't need to pay so much. It's the mind cool. So it's a time of really understanding also finances, understanding money. What is God's money? Gold, silver, gems, minerals. Like a teacher of mine said, no, that was before the cockroaches and will be after the cockroaches. Government money, paper money, pounds, euros, and so, and people's money, the crypto. Understand that. Understand what are you working for. Understand your finances, what you have, what you owe. Understand what is debt, what is good debt, what is bad debt. Yeah, in the school we are going to start a club, just a club aside for those that want, with, a cash flow club where people, we are going to exchange knowledge and experiences and stuff. Because it's Aries, it's an energy that works with that as well. And Saturn wants a structure. And people are going to tell you that there's a crash and the finances and all that. But no. That started decades ago. What we are living now started decades ago. What we are seeing is an aftermath. And money has been symbolized by others to us. So we need to understand our financial situation. Do I have financial cancer? Do I have financial flakiness? And go there and restore. Like you restore your physical health, mental health, or emotional health. So if you say so, because we only have a few minutes, so Sole, how can you put this together? For me, at the core of all of this is spiritual power, spiritual health, which is what humans as a whole have lost. If you see the screen with these glasses, humanity, we've lost our capacity to be butterfly, and we've become Frankensteins of half caterpillar, half butterfly, just over exploding caterpillar that doesn't want to go into the other thing, so into the new realm. So the idea is get spiritually strong and understand not in a flaky Pisces way, in an Aries way. In an Aries way is, okay, I'm accountable, I'm grounded, I can be a hero and I can be a poet, but I need to be in charge of my life. And knowing this infantile notion that the government, my parents, my partner, my whatever, are just going to take care of me. The new guru, the new teachings, this podcast guy or this whatever guy that I'm listening to is going to resolve my life. No. And this is why so many people are scared. No, it's not scary. It should be exciting. And it is exciting. It's a time of excitement. No of euphoria. It's, oh, wow. There's work to do? Of course. Of course, because there's chaos. Aries is chaos. When a child is born, I've gone through it. Many of you have gone through that, or you've been witness of others. It's chaos, no? It's, the order in the house, the everything, your time is like, oh my God. So yes, there's an element of chaos. That's why there has to be a very strong internal order. Careful if you are a perfectionist, and most of us in this school are. Perfectionist people this year is a lose-lose. We've been trained in school to study so we get the good marks. No, we need this year to be willing to make mistakes, a lot of mistakes. That's how we learn. It's very scary not to make mistakes because then you're not learning. You become a good driver because you make mistakes. Oh, yes, there are natural good drivers. There are natural good horse riders, no? When I went into horse riding, it was very natural for me. But I was lazy and I didn't learn because I knew I had to spend time in it. This is the same thing. We need to, and I didn't want to make mistakes because that's the story for many of us. We didn't want to make mistakes. That narrative needs to change. It's okay to make mistakes. It's good to make mistakes. With the right mindset, we correct. That's how you get good at anything in life, making mistakes. And that's the contrary of what they tell to our children in the system. No, you prepare them to be right. You prepare them and then they get totally unprepared for life and totally exhausted and totally, that's what happens to many of us. No, here the mindset is different. Is make mistakes. A good warrior, Aries, makes mistakes. A good warrior knows the limitations that he's got. A good warrior knows the talents. A good warriors have self-discipline. So that's the flavor of the times. That's the flavor of the horse. To finish with, relationships. Yes, business relationships. When I mean relationships, it's one-to-one. No, me with the group. My relationship with this group. No, my relationship with this other person. My business partner, my partner, my romantic partner, even my child, but one child, not all my children, one child. Those relationships, Saturn is going to be opposite the sign of that. Those relationships, that is also the sign of enemies, known enemies, interesting in the same place, is Libra. You can say, well, so the children are in house 5. Yes, true. But then it can become, it has traces of house 7. And this is very deep for another day, and that's why many people are also with those traces in arguments with their own parents, no? Because of this house 7. But anyway, the point is, this house 7 is how do I relate with my partner, with my new relations? Maybe I haven't got a partner, but I want to have a partner. What is going to happen? That Saturn being opposite is, and Saturn is exalted here, so Saturn is very happy in that house because it brings order and it brings justice and it brings equilibrium, but it's going to be in the sign of the warrior in Aries. So looking opposite, Saturn is going to say, knives out. Okay, let's name here what is going on. So all the toxicity that it's in those relationships, probably if you don't resolve it, those relationships will end. So it's a time to look in your relationships and say, if this is putrid, it's better to clean it than to leave this infection, and then it's going to turn into something very ugly. And I've seen couples in ugly spaces when breaking up because that happened, and it's a very ugly show. So it's a good time for those of you that have long-term relationships to make them stronger, to make them real, to address things that are not working, because that's house 7. And if not, I can tell you that Saturn will do it for you, because Saturn gives you things and gives you and takes away things. Yeah? So it's better that you know the map and you say, okay, and you say it. If you haven't got a relationship, it's the same thing with your partners, business partners, okay? To have clarity, to not repress, and also not to vomit on them, but to really, whatever you think, that is your truth. No. In house number 7, you negotiate. And the balance is always a play, a game. And that's another story, because I will go deep in how astrology looks at love relationship, business relationships. That's part of what we are going to be doing in the Fire Horse year course that we are starting in a couple of weeks. We are going to be working on the 12th of February, okay? We are going to start working with fire, with the masculine. What means these relationships? What means really stopping a caterpillar and maybe be overweight, or maybe be phallic and very small, and really get all your resources and turn into this pollinating aspect of the butterfly. What is health? financially? What is health in the masculine? I'm not going to define it for you. I want to offer you the symbols so you symbolize it. And don't let anyone symbolize your life for you. Nobody, just you. But know the game rules. That's very important. And for this, I really invite you to we have 3 places left. So I really invite you to come to this new journey. So we are 12 here and 11 in England. Anyone would like to have any questions? To make any questions or any comments? No, there's a lot to reflect, no? But I think it's exciting, no? Yes? Yes. Put me a 5. 5 is a number for success. Put me a 5 if you, so I can. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for all those 5s. Yes. 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 Thank you, everyone. So, yes, I am here if you need me, and I hope that we can unpack even more this year, this exciting year, a year not to get revenge, not to go in obsessions. This Pluto Mars is hitting hard people, and a year to get on the top of the wave. It's exciting to learn how to surf. So a good year for surfing and horse riding. I'm going to do it anyway. So I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And I meet many of you in the school. And those who have any questions about the training, please write to me. Lots of love. Ciao, ciao.